Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Are we okay to just run down the line, name, company, what you do there?
Yeah, I can answer that one. Connor, I'm the head of marketing at One Good Thing, which is the world's first wrapper-free energy bar. Everyone will frantically Google it because nobody has no idea what that means, but please do.
Hey everyone, my name is Himadri Negi, and you can call me Hem, not Ham, please. I drive new customer and revenue growth for MyProtein as the head of paid media. I cover paid platforms and performance creative across them. Our mission at MyProtein is to support and empower people in their fitness journeys through a high quality and great tasting products. So excited to be here today and really hoping to add value to you all.
I'm James, I'm head of marketing for Rainy City, and I head up the paid ads. And I'm always humbled by the next meta algorithm change, which I'll go into, which I'm currently scrambling about for. But yeah, that's my main role.
Hi everyone, my name is Clem. I'm the founder and CEO of Kavee. We are the leading brand in the weird and wonderful world of guinea pigs. So yeah, I know. So we're the leading brand for guinea pig cages in the UK and in the US.
Hem, we're going to start with you. So let's talk about like creative volume. Like, how are you guys driving such volume without getting through, your team going through burnout or on the brand?
I'm going to start with 2 words: creative systems. Systems that allow you to scale creatives without burning out your teams. At MyProtein, we've got 3 creative systems in place. Number 1, a platform scaling approach. And what I mean by here is that all your platforms have got multiple different ad formats, such as carousel, collection, shorts, and so on. So when our team receives a creative, it's never just about one asset. It's turning that one asset into multiple different ad formats that creates variations for you. So anyone can do that, firstly. Number 2, creative AI scaling tech. For us, that's Smartly. Smartly allows us to build design templates that takes one creative concept and turns that into hundreds of different variations. And lastly, we've got an amazing performance creative agency called InDigital. They're actually around there today. Give us a wave. And what they do is they're fully integrated with our systems and our teams. So they're speaking to our performance teams, our creative team, our brand team, and even working closely with our meta reps and Smartly. But most importantly, guys, everyone who's driving this within their teams got to have a mindset that you're not building a car. You're building a factory that enables the build of cars at scale. And that is the difference between creative and creative systems.
And James, just following on from that, like when clients are typically coming to you and they're struggling with performance on Meta, like where do you start?
So I'll start by really looking at the full funnel on Ads Manager or Triple Whale, and there's usually some glaring bottlenecks that we have to identify first. And we'll go from the ad level, so click-through rate, all the way down to the add to cart or the checkout rate. And if there's any glaring bottlenecks, this is when we need to build our low-hanging fruit strategy about it. Then we'll look at trends, so we'll look at 30 days, 90 days, even 12 months trends, and build out where we're leaking profit, which hero products we're not going out to. And more often than not, as Meta's getting a lot more, it's getting more systemized, we'll do a real deep dive on creative strategy as well. So it's all about getting the low-hanging fruit and building out creative strategy as well.
Yeah. And Connor, you've worked at some big brands before you started at One Good Thing. What's been the biggest difference for you, between leading performance at a global brand like Colour Wow and then building from scratch at One Good Thing?
It's again fun to watch all the females in the audience perk up at the word Colour Wow, whereas One Good Thing didn't get that. But the difference has been for us, weirdly, the bit before the ad, because the advertising is so much easier when people already know who you are and what you do. And Colour Wow did go like that fairly quickly, but it was a gradual build of there were 10,000 TikTokers who were all covering the products in different ways. Each one solved a problem, so it made it very easy to do the ad as well. Problem, solution, bad hair, good hair. Very, very easy. But One Good Thing, it's been quite difficult because it's a very weird prospect for people, for honest. Nobody's had a wrapper-free brand before. So we're trying to identify which messaging resonates with which group, and it's been tricky, to say the least, because, like you said, Meta has been an absolute pig over the last 6 months. So trying to do messaging at scale whilst keeping the creative diversified enough to keep Meta happy has been tricky, but the bit before the ad is it. We just need to raise awareness of the concept first.
And Clem, we're going to pivot a little bit into some AI chat now. How are you avoiding like AI-driven campaigns like feeling generic or feeling off-brand, and what are you doing to kind of manage that?
Yeah, it's a big topic, and I really liked your point about systems, because it's really about the quality of what you feed AI. And we're not at the point where we can fully rely on AI to generate creatives from A to Z. I think we need a bit more time to get there. But we are able to amplify really good creatives and then serve them in different formats. Even get to a stage where in the future, each of us will receive a slightly different version of the same creative based on unique user level. So we're really excited about that. But it starts with knowing your customers, being really clear on your brand clarity. What are your messaging? What works? What angles? We feed AI with everything we know about our customers, and that leads us to generating hooks that really, really works. And then we do the work of generating the creative, and then AI is like a co-pilot in content creation, not a leading force, but really a co-pilot.
And Hem, like obviously no one has any attention span anymore. Like, what do you think makes a 2-second hook like truly land with your audience?
I think by obsessing about this one question, which is, why should your audience care? Why should they care about the 2-second hook, and what is the value you're bringing to them about your brand, about your product, or your message? After loads of testing at MyProtein, these are the 3 styles of hooks that work really well for us. Number 1, value-driven hook. So not just value at a macro level, why is protein great for you? We all know that, we need it. But really going down to a micro level. So what's the value of an impact whey protein versus a pre-workout versus the creatine? What's the value for a male audience versus a female audience for creatine? Even going down to geo level, what's the value for someone in Texas versus someone in California? Because the perception of value is different, and that's when you go deep into personalization. Number 2, experiential style of hooks. So hooks that get users to experience something at a visual level, audio level, music. You can call it ASMR as well. We did a campaign a couple of months ago where we had a pro mindset campaign, and we had athletes swimming in the Scottish seas. And every time there was a hook about someone swimming in the sea, it outperformed every other hook. And not saying that's the only hook that would work, but that is a very strong visual hook, and you can tap more into that. And lastly, novelty hooks. It's scientifically proven that our brains are wired for novelty. TikTok has built an algorithm based on that, and it's doing pretty well. So it's really important that you're continuing to surprise and delight your users with novel hooks, because they really get used to your branding and concepts. So these are the 3 styles of hooks that are really working well for us. But it starts with that one question: why should they care?
And James, what are your like go-to tips for brands when they're trying to improve their performance through better creative?
I'm a massive proponent in looking at customer reviews, Reddit posts, forums, anywhere like your target ICP hangs out and speaks. Because if you're sprinkling your messaging, your scripts, your static headlines with the actual language they're using, you're going to get higher click-through rates, you're going to get lower CAC, because it's not generic. You're not like fighting 9-figure brands going out to like really generic slogans. You're just going to get eaten alive. So that's the main thing, just having like really good customer research and put it in the ads. I do think authenticity is so important as well. You can have like a really good script, but sometimes you'll get humbled. Like a customer will give you like a testimonial video, and it'll be the top performing ad. So it's a bit of a mix, like getting the best market research, being authentic, and like having really good editing styles. So I'd say there's 3 ways really.
And Connor, what have you learned so far about making sustainability work as a differentiator across performance channels?
It's very difficult, to be perfectly honest. It kind of matches up with what you guys said of learn what the customer likes. And whilst everyone in the room would say, oh, I'm incredibly sustainable, when it comes to buying, it doesn't actually matter as much, especially in food. Taste is more prevalent, texture is more prevalent. So it needs to be in the priority list, but it's very difficult to have it at the top, we found, for most people, because it isn't a strong enough hook to buy anything, which isn't great for a brand trying to slowly change the world and get rid of wrappers, but it gives some different insights of what you could actually target with, and then you just kind of layer it in. So don't lead with it, but include it.
And Clem, what's one way that smaller brands can use AI today to get more from their ad spend?
It's really hard to just pick one thing, but for us, for example, we've used media buying AI-led. We have an AI-led media buying strategy, which has been very, very successful and has, overperformed manual media buying multiple times. I think that's one way smaller brands can actually close the gap in terms of accessing advanced performance marketing. You don't need to have the bigger budget in the room. You actually need to be the smarter, kind of team in the room, which is really exciting. I kind of touched on it earlier, but we feed ChatGPT everything we know about our customers, their reviews, their words, their picture even. And then we let ChatGPT tell us what kind of hooks we should try, what kind of creative we should try. And that kind of supporting role in creative strategy has been kind of game-changing, because then it enabled us to get, to your point, novelty, something that collectively we kind of at some point have like a kind of a creative fatigue that then ChatGPT can unlock for you. So that has been a couple of ways we've used ChatGPT and AI, more generally speaking.
And Hem, what's your current strategy for balancing that top of funnel brand storytelling with lower funnel conversion?
I think it's important to acknowledge that brand story space has changed so much and is ever changing, especially when the average attention span of a user is 1.7 seconds. Can you believe that? I think some of my pauses between my points are longer than that. So the question becomes, how do you inspire, connect, educate, and entertain people in 10 to 15 seconds of storytelling in paid media? The answer and balance lies in bringing storytelling to every funnel stage, even your performance campaigns. And what I mean by that is, if any one of you, let's pick Rebecca, if she's watching 2-second ads or 2 seconds of ads for every 10 ads, she should still be able to tell the macro story around the brand or the message you're trying to communicate. And it's a completely different mindset to storytelling. So at MyProtein, we're embracing and creating a balance by leaning into short-form storytelling, creating micro moments that are also then creating macro memory around the brand. And that's how we're creating the balance. So micro moments, creating macro memory around your brand.
And Connor, if you could only invest in one performance channel right now, what would it be and why?
For us, it would be, I think, leveraging influencers and creators still, because with a slightly different product that, obviously, we said everybody knows what protein is now. Wrapper-free bars, I'll come back to it again, very different. So we need to get bars in hand. And to do that, we want authenticity, which is the buzzword we've all said 1,000 times probably today. But it's true, because we need real people eating the food to prove that A, it tastes nice, and B, it has a functional benefit to other people's lives. And it was the same at Colourwell. The way we grew was through absolutely blitzing lots of different influencers, because the person that talks to you will be a different person that talks to you when you're looking online. So just finding those pockets through authentic people.
And do you have like a really clear system that you're using to get through all of like the influencers and trial and testing? I suppose it's a completely different product now as well that you're working with, isn't it? And
yeah, I don't like my life being boring, but we're on a platform called Avalon, which is specifically for sports influencers at the moment. So we're going through that. We're hitting everyone in running and cycling, seeing who sits with the brand and who doesn't, because being so early on, the brand is learning who it is still, in a way. We know what we want to be, but obviously you're normally led by the customers. So we're going through different people to see who it resonates with, and then reflecting that in the influencers and ads.
And Clem, looking ahead now, how do you think AI is going to reshape the skills of marketing teams and what they need to succeed in performance marketing?
I think it's really about putting together a team who understands your brand really, really well. Like, brand has never been more important, and I'm sure we've said that so many times today. Your performance marketing needs to understand brand so very much, and of course they need to be really skilled at using AI and prompt engineering. I think those are the two non-negotiable.
And James, last one, top tip for brands that are scaling into Q4 and beyond?
Don't try too many new tests. Use what's worked in previous Q4s and really go big on retargeting. So you want to having an already warmed up list that you can hit really hard with the Black Friday sales. I'd also recommend doing some more subtle promos after Black Friday, like founders for sales that are really subtle. But yeah, just mainly looking at previous years and planning your offers and schedule around that.
Thank you so much, guys. I think we could talk about marketing and performance strategies all day, but hopefully you'll all be around to answer any questions that people have got a bit later on. But thank you so much.